Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at the first issue of Captain Atom, which is Captain Atom 78, 12 cents by Charlton Comics. So how could the first issue of Captain Atom be Captain Atom 78? Easily. Charlton Comics was famous for just changing the titles of comics that are already in print. Now, before this, it was Startling Stories. So Startling Stories 77 was the last startling story, and then they just changed it to Captain Atom with the number 78. But Captain Atom was the lead character in Startling Stories for a couple of issues. Captain Atom's first appearance was Space Adventures 33. So this is not the first appearance of Captain Atom. Not by a long shot. He was around for a year or so, I would say, before this comic came out. But this is the first issue of Captain Atom. Again, 78. So Charlton, let's talk a little bit about Charlton Comics. Charlton Comics was an odd little comic company. It was founded by Joe Santiago Sr. He was a bricklayer, an Italian immigrant. And as a side hustle, he would put out magazine lyric, like magazines with song lyrics in them. But the thing is, he didn't have the copyright. He just would put them out, and he actually got arrested and sentenced to a year and a day in jail for violating copyright. But while he was there, he met a lawyer who had a successful, legitimate, legal publishing company that made song lyrics. So they got together, and they formed what they called the Two Charles Publishing, because they both had sons named Charles. So it was the Two Charles Publishing. And they made magazines, they made books, they made whatever they could. But also at night, the printing press would be shut off. So they thought this was a waste of money. You know, we could still be publishing stuff. So what can we publish? So they got the idea of comic books. So they would buy like stock material from other people, like reprint stuff, sometimes stuff that other companies didn't publish, and sometimes they would just purchase unpublished stuff from defunct companies, and they would reprint it, whatever, just to keep the press running. And they called that, I think, like Children's Press, and then later Charlton. So Charlton actually came from like a blending of their sons named the Two Charles Publishing. So that's what you need to know. And they were famous for low pay. They were famous for cutting corners. Like instead of putting a new fee to start a new comic, they would just change the title. A lot of companies did that. I think that's why, like Fawcett Comics, the Whiz Comics rather, with Captain Marvel, I think the first issue was actually number 2, because the first appearance, the first Whiz was number 2. A lot of companies did that. Marvel did that a lot too, believe it or not. It was just cheaper to just change the title than to start all over again at number 1, because the legal fees and filing fees and whatever. But Charlton Comics was the most egregious for doing this. Just I think like a romance comic just changed to be like fighting Marines or something like that. Just completely changed. Not even pretending to keep the same theme. But anyway, let's get back to Captain Atom. So this is Captain Atom. He was created by Steve Ditko, the legend who created Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. So everybody who watches my channel regularly should be at least a little bit familiar with Steve Ditko. Just a comic book legend who died of old age a couple of years ago. Poor old guy, So Steve Ditko, he made Captain Atom, he made Blue Beetle, he made Spider-Man, he made Doctor Strange. And I always thought that Steve Ditko had a wonderful eye for design. Some people don't like his later artwork. I love his earlier artwork. Even Steve Ditko didn't like his later artwork. I think he was phoning it in because he needed a paycheck, and he did it begrudgingly. But just a wonderful eye for design. Just wonderful. And here we have Captain Atom. They came from Planet Blue. So this was written by Joe Gill, who wrote most of Charlton's comics. Just a prolific guy. Let's look at this. Subscription annually, whatever. I'm just looking for the year. Oh, okay, it's over here. Captain Atom, formerly Strange Suspense Stories. So I think I said the wrong title. Volume 2, number 78, 1965. Published monthly by Charlton Comics Group. Charlton also, they did everything in house. They wrote, drew, did everything, and then they also published. You know, most like Marvel and DC, they hired outside publishers to publish their comics, and then they had other distributors. But Charlton had their own distributors, their own publisher. Everything was done in house, and I think that was so they could, you know, control everything, get the cheapest price possible. They weren't the you know, they were notoriously cheapskate. So and this paper is actually pretty good, but I have some Charlton Comics that are just on some really bad paper. So here we have a nice splash page. A splash page being usually the first page of a comic, usually one panel. You know, I'll even say it's a splash page. So this story's not that great. Here we have Captain Atom. And I'm being really careful with the comic, and I'm sure you could all appreciate and understand why I'm not just flipping through the pages. And here, this is just great Steve Ditko setup. You know, a lot of text, dialogue, scientists. They do an experimental rocket. Here's Captain Atom. I think his name is Alan, Captain Adam Allen, or Alan Adam, as opposed to the Nathaniel Adam, which is the DC version. And I'll talk about that at the end. He's the bodyguard to the scientist and the scientist's hot redhead daughter, which is just such a comic book trope. Scientists got to have her hot redhead daughter. And they're just one, because all the other stuff has been falling apart, and the scientist's at its wit's end. So they're just guiding, and he's like, all right, you know, we can't have another malfunction, blah, 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 blah. See you later. I'm getting the hell out of here. And boom, turns it to Captain Atom. Tell me that is not cool. I just love Steve Ditko's designs. And I've said this before in so many comic books. A superhero costume has to be simple and elegant. Simple and elegant. And that's why, and I will be showcasing the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel and explain why I don't like the costume, because I keep bringing it up. I should talk about it. But this is just simple and elegant. You know, superhero costumes are not military uniforms. They're superhero costumes. Simple and elegant. Perfect. And here he is watching the test flight. And of course, since this is his first full-length comic, so they're probably padding it up or getting you familiar. So here we have his origin. The man who was Captain Atom, U.S. Air Force, who was obliterated in a split second of blinding disintegration, atomic heat. So there was a nuclear explosion, blew him apart, vaporized. Captain Atom seemed to survive the blast, but he was not before. So he literally rebuilt his body and came back with these amazing powers. And just like a lot of these early superheroes, what are his powers? Well, whatever the story tells. You know, even Blue Beetle, you know, had that. I call that plot powers, whatever the plot requires. But at least they vaguely defined it as like controlling atoms, stuff like that. So here he is, he's watching the missile, because nobody wants this one to malfunction. They've all been malfunctioning. So he's like just guiding it, and he's using his Captain Atom visions, and he says, oh yeah, some of the wires are frayed. So he shoots magnetic rays and turns himself and flies to it because magnetically, and then sticks his hand through and repairs the malfunction, and yay, the rocket's not going to explode. Let's check out some of these ads. A lot of the same ads that you see in Marvel and DC at the era. And look at these. These are some cool Charlton Comics. Blue Beetle, I love Blue Beetle. And here's another costume that I just love. Just all blue with the red gloves and the red, I don't know, I just love that. And he has a little red crest. I could do without the crest. Either make the crest big or get rid of the crest. This is, like, I don't know, I don't like that crest. But here we got Sarge Steel. He's got like a Kung Fu grip, metallic hand. Son of Vulcan. This was like a Roman ripoff of Thor. So this was like their foray into like a mythological Thor-like superhero. And the Fighting Five. I get that. I'm not familiar with that. I guess that's their military comic. Military comics were a big deal. And then Captain Atom. So here he is. I love this streak of like energy and sparks that fly behind him. And oh, it worked. And one of the guys looks surprised and, take them home. And, of course, he's driving the hot redhead blonde home, chit-chatting. And she's flirting with him. And he's just like, I want to talk to your dad about the acceleration speed of light, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I guess that's like a superhero trope at the time. The girls are like throwing themselves at the guys, and the guys are just like, not interested or too nerdy or too shy or whatever. So here's the scientist, get away from my dad, blah, blah, blah. And here's the blue space alien. So Captain Atom leaves, and we got the blue space alien. And what does he do? They capture them. Boop, with the blue space alien ray. I guess it's better than an anal probe. So let's be grateful about that. And what does he do? He hypnotizes. It's like a hypnotic beam, and it's you will obey, Professor. So like a suggestion ray or hypnotic or mesmerism or whatever. So the next morning, look, even his visage changed. He's like vaguely sinister, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, blah 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 blah. So we'll go. He's like, we got to go do this, we got to go do that, and she's like, what is going on? And please, Dad, so they're actually taking a boat to like a deserted island. The Sun God. I've talked about this a few times. In order to qualify for media mail, comic books had to have at least 2 pages of text, no ads, no pictures, and then they could get media mail. So a lot of these early comics, they would have 2 pages, like a short story. These were usually rushed out, poorly written, just who cares, just bang out a story so we could get the media mail. Later on, pretty soon, this is 66, so pretty soon they got replaced by the letters pages. The letters pages were perfect. They didn't have to do any work. The letters were sent by the fans, put them in the comic, and that met all the criteria. Plus, I love the letters page. It just like made like a fun sense of community. There was a lot of in-jokes and stuff like that. So I forget, I haven't seen this in a long time, so we'll see if there's another page of just text coming up. So monster-sized monsters. I guess these were like, if I remember correctly, these were just like not quite cardboard, but not quite paper, stiff paper. And they were just big, and they would have like little, like grommets or something like that. So like the knees would spin a little bit, and then the shoulders would spin a bit. So you could pose them and then like collapse them down smaller to actually mail them. There you go. So here we have Captain Atom looking cool. And I always liked how Steve Ditko, he always had like odd poses when you flew. Like he didn't have the total rigid Superman planking position, and here they're like, what's going on? Where's the doctor? You were supposed to watch him. I just love how every general is like a hot-headed idiot in every comic, whether it's Marvel, DC, or Charlton. So it's like, all right, what's going on? So guys can't get out of the capsule, so he flies up there and check it out. It's empty. They thought he launched and put him in the capsule, and the space aliens are like, who's this guy? We're going to capture him. Blu-ray capture. That is just a cool picture. Look at that panel. I love that panel. So now, talking to the blue aliens. Here he is getting sucked up by the Blu-ray. This is the professor and his hot redhead daughter and Captain Atom. So he's acting like he's a slave. Activate atomic energy, plot power, and punch the crap out of him. And I love this too. He wasn't above. He had all these atomic powers, and he also had super strength. So he wasn't above beating the crap out of people. Total Spider-Man, poses and throwing punches, jumping around, shooting atomic blasts at people. Just making short work of them all. And here's crazy Ditko landscapes. Just so cool. And he's flying them back. Let's go back. I don't know where the Earth is, so he's going to go and actually look for Earth, which I thought was a pretty cool touch, because I always thought about that. Like, you're in outer space. Once you lose sight of the Earth, man, you're gone, So he actually had to go out and check out wavelengths to find the Earth. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. So here he is flying back. Where are they? So he's got to meet with the general. So that's right. He's flying back faster than the ship, so he can meet with the general, so the general doesn't suspect that they're missing and gone AWOL. Okay, I'll go get them. I must have overslept. So he's acting like a jerk. Typical Peter Parker schmucky, problems. I'll go get them. I must have overslept. Blah, blah, blah. And now he's flying back. And here she is. She's got making sure that the gorgeous red hair is okay. And here comes Captain Atom. He transforms, like he doesn't even need to change. He just rearranged the molecules, and he has his uniforms over there. And she's flirting with him, and he's like, I gotta go get your dad, And of course the blue alien's got the blue beam, and now she's figuring out, oh, my dad isn't just a jerk all of a sudden. He's been mind controlled. So she's like, play along with it. I'm not really affected. So he was ready for the blue beam this time. And he put up his atomic defenses or whatever. And look at him. He's like, yeah, we're going to help the aliens. We're going to help the aliens. And Captain Atom is going along with it, even though he's not really affected. He's just pretending. and they shoot him with another beam. No, 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 we're gonna kill him. And he, like, what does he say? Oh, please wake up, please don't die. And he's like, I won't die. I'm going to pretend I'm unconscious now, so they'll take me below. And she's like, whatever you say, my dear. You know, when did that happen? So they go below. Captain Atom in this cool costume with the creepy smile and whatever. He's doing rockets. He's going to blow up the Earth, but Captain Atom's going to throw an atom blast at it and then take out everybody. Just punching everybody, having a good grand old time. And this guy's going to cop a feel on hot redhead. Space aliens like hot redheads too. Why not? And he ain't going to let them do that. So he's a gentleman. Captain Atom's a gentleman. And I like that the father pulls out a gun. I don't know where he got a gun on Alien Planet, but Captain Atom, listen to this hokey description. Deep within your brain, certain cells have been frozen, and this induced unfavorable changes which can be neutralized with heat. So he's microwaving his brain. And that breaks out the power of the blue ray. They get into a spaceship, and they're flying home. And the general's like, dismissed. Thank you. Good job. Ta-da! I love these. I love these. His more ads. More ads. And then here's a backup story. The Vast Unknown. To tell you the truth, I don't remember any of this. Freaky Alien. Bocce is the artist. This is a reprint from an early. It's really cool. This is like a golden age. You could tell. Well endowed diver girl. Going up to the mountains, and I don't know any of this. So, oh, all right. So there wasn't a second page of text. So I wonder how they did it, because Charlton is notoriously cheap. Dime, and here we got the Norman Rockwell ad. Okay, so here we have. This is the first. Like I said, Captain Atom appeared in previous issues. He always had one out of, like, a lot of these comics were anthologies, and he would have one of the stories, but then they realized that he was the most popular. Boom, he got promoted to full-length stories. And Charlton Comics went out of business, and DC bought all the Charlton characters, and he became the inspiration for Dr. Manhattan. So originally, Alan Moore asked to use all the Charlton characters to do the Watchmen. And then when they got the script of the Watchmen, they were like, nah, we don't want you to. So he made up like analogs. So Dr. Manhattan was Captain Atom. Later on in this series, he teams up with Deadly Nightshade, and they have a flirtatious superhero team, and it kind of worked. People kind of liked seeing Nightshade and Captain Atom together, and she became the Silk Spectre. So that's why Dr. Manhattan has the Silk Spectre as his girlfriend. So there you go. It came from this. I dig this. I really do like these Captain Atoms. They're a product of a different, simpler, more wholesome age. I kind of get a little nostalgic for it. So there you go. This is the first Captain Atom comic, even though it's issue 78. So Steve Ditko and Joe Gill. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm trying to keep a New Year's pledge of doing keeping a video a day. I know I've been from Thanksgiving to New Year's. It's kind of crazy, So, and I was off work. I had an extended vacation, and I was just doing a lot of stuff to the house that I moved in. But everything's under control. So, I'm going to come home every day, and I'm going to try to do a shower as I enjoy my afternoon coffee. So thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. I will do the DC version of Captain Atom. So a little compare and contrast. Okay? Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow when I do Captain Atom again. Bye-bye.